First class are working on how to put down the rebellion, and the best idea at the moment seems to be to remove oxygen from the carriages one by one. At the same time, they're also trying to figure out how best to get rid of Melanie. Pike also arrives back to Leighton, but it seems he's the bearer of bad news. He tells him the first class want to surrender. There's yet more scheming on the train, as Commander Grey is working on how best to remove the Folgers from their position of power. Melanie is about to be executed by Lung of Ice, but she isn't, as it seems she still has allies. As it turns out, the Javi has made it all the way back to her so he can help her escape. Leighton also comes back to Pike. He tells him that he will surrender. Before he leaves though, Melanie now appears, and while there's quite a bit of resentment between the two, he decides to let her in, and she tells him about how they could defeat security in first class. Her plan involves separating a number of carts that will house security, but for it to work, someone will have to infiltrate the other side of the train. So Leighton volunteers, and with Commander Roach, they advance through the train under the guise of his surrender. Leighton is to be executed by Commander Grey, but before he can, Roach pulls a gun on him, but while he's momentarily distracted, Commander Grey slaps from his hand, and a fight breaks out. While this is happening, the train now begins to separate, and seeing that he's little time, Commander Grey is going to execute Leighton on the spot, but he's interrupted before he can. A strong boy and the others saved from the drawers arrive to save Leighton, and to beat Commander Grey and his men to a pulp. Leighton now arrives at the cart he has to separate, but he has a choice to make. Inside in the cart, the prisoners taken from the initial engagements, and he has a choice to save them or let them die and save the rest of the train. And when there simply isn't enough time, he's forced to separate them from the train and let them die. The 7 carts that are disconnected now go a different direction at an intersection, and the 994 others now reconnect. And as they reconnect, Leighton and Melanie glare at each other over the choice that Leighton has just been forced to make.